Welcome to Under the Makeup, the podcast where beauty meets brains and glam gets real. I'm your host, Brittany D, pro MUA educator and your behind the scenes bestie in all things beauty, business, and boldness. Now, on to this week's episode. Hey everybody, I'm listening to it on my phone, my other phone, so please ignore. One second. So I'm excited that you guys are here. I'm really excited. And I see people in the chat. Hey everybody. Hey Noe. I'm looking at my phone for my chat. Hey son. Hey Kylie. Oh, looking gorgeous. You know, a little quick work makeup, like I like to call it. So I am going to jump right in. And I'm super excited. I was nervous all day. So if you don't know me, which we'll get into tonight, but if you don't know me about that, like anytime I do something new, I get nervous right before or the day of. Like that's my that is my thought process on that. But I'm super excited. So welcome to the launch of episode 1 of Under the Makeup podcast show. Super excited. Yay! We don't know how far this podcast is going to go, and I'm excited to be on the ride. If you don't know who I am your host, Brittany D, and I'm super excited to finally put out a podcast. So, I am your beauty professional, all things beauty, your beauty educator. And this podcast I wanted to create specifically for beauty professionals, of course, but also beauty lovers to find that middle ground and for us to be vulnerable, for us to slow down and really think about like what's happening with us personally and under the makeup, of course, right? So, yeah. I'm super excited, and this first episode really is a tough one. I'm gonna be honest with you, but you know we have to start from somewhere. We have to start with the hard stuff, and then we fall in line with all the rest of the stuff that we're going to do. So please, if you are new here, please tell me where you are from. And if you've been on my other lives before, please let everybody else know how we do, how fun it could be, etc. So get people engaged. This podcast show, I wanted to make it more of an engaging podcast, not just a listening podcast, but also a watching podcast. And so it's fun that it is interactive. And after the, which we call it, the live is done for the podcast would be in the podcast section in YouTube. And so it's like an actual podcast that YouTube has. So you can go through the replay again. You can watch any episode that you like, etc., in like a podcast feed format, if that makes any sense. So if you don't ever catch the live, just know you are more than welcome to catch the replay. So the podcast is going to be every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So it is if it's Eastern, it's 9:30 for you. If it's Pacific Standard Time, it is 2 hours before me. So I'm excited, you guys. So how are you guys feeling? How you doing? I'm going to read the chat really quick before we jump in. Hey, Peach. Nice. Oh, hey, Tanya. Nice rings, lippy earrings, and top. Okay, so real quick. So my top is from Macy's a long time ago in the junior section. Don't judge. And my lips, let me grab my lips. It is 3 colors. Of course, you know, I have to do the most for a red. So I'm going to pull it out. So the first color, which is like around my lip, is from Pat McGrath Labs. I wore this the last time on the Makeup Lounge, and the color is Exotica. It's the Luxe Trance Lipstick Collection, and so this color is bomb. Super, super pretty. It's like a berry color. And then what I have underneath is, or on top in the center, is the lip bar. This is Rebel. This is my favorite, one of my favorite reds. Super pretty. I'm not gonna swatch it on my hand because I'm trying to keep what's left in here. This is almost an empty. And then in the center is Bloody Mary. This is an oldie but goodie. So I do a little tappy tap in the center for Bloody Mary to give me a little bit more dimension. But yeah. And then my frames is from Zulu. So I'm a Zulu shopper. I freaking love Zulu. I think I have two other pairs, and so love the mess out of it. But yeah, let's see what else. Oh, we doing this live. I thought it was pre-recorded. No, it's not pre-recorded, boo. It's live, and then the replay comes after. So it's kind of similar to the makeup lounge in that sense, and then it'll be available, to watch whenever. So how long you've been doing pro makeup. Kylie, I'm going to answer your question. So any questions that you may have, there's a segment called Ask the Artist at the end, and then I'll answer all your questions. So if I don't remember that question, just ask it again towards the end. From West Virginia, Kylie's from West Virginia. Just follow here, but she's a DM angel. That's Boo Thane. Hi, Micah or Mika. Sorry if I'm saying your name right, from Barbados. Yes, Barbados in the house. Peach says she's doing good. Sent you the other topics I thought you may have fun with for the podcast. Did you send it through the form? If not, that's okay. So we're going to get into, because I don't want to rabbit hole, so we're going to get into the podcast. And of course, feel free to comment, interact. From time to time, I am going to look at the comments and I see what you guys are saying and disclose those comments on the live so people can see what you guys are saying as well. And yeah, or hear what you guys are saying for me as well. So yeah, let's get started. So we're going to start with the segment Under It All. And Under It All is going to be on all of the podcast episodes. It is the bulk or the heart of the podcast. And this is when we're going to talk about every and everything for the podcast. So the episode title for today is Imposter Syndrome, the lie that's holding you back in beauty. So imposter syndrome is so heavy when it's inside the beauty industry. It's very heavy and it weighs on a lot of people. And so I wanted to start with that to get that squared away and what we can do to counter it. Okay, so like I said, I have my talking points right in front of me, so bear with me. Alrighty. So we're talking about a silent struggle that so many beauty pros and creatives deal with, imposter syndrome. It's such a hard thing, like I was saying before, that we struggle with time to time. It comes in different seasons. I know for me, it comes and goes in different seasons, and then I have to figure out ways to snap out of it. So we're going to talk about that. So, but before we get into the struggles with imposter syndrome, you have to define and come to terms with what is imposter syndrome. Those two terms tend to have a tendency to be talked about a lot in the beauty industry, especially. And I don't want us to connect or label ourselves and we don't know what it really is, if that makes any sense, right? So, what is imposter syndrome? It's the belief that you are not as skilled or deserving as people think you are. So, I'm going to say it again. The belief that you are not as skilled or deserving as people think you are. Okay. So, different examples or different things that you could be telling yourself, like your thought process is, you feel like a fraud even though your work, results, and clients say otherwise. So, does imposter syndrome only stay within the beauty industry? Are the only people, artists, makeup artists, estheticians, anybody in that beauty professional realms, are they the only people that actually witness or experience imposter syndrome? No. Imposter syndrome could be for any type of field, or it is a personal battle that you're having, right? So, imposter syndrome could be that person that you cannot stand. That's imposter syndrome. So, the common feelings that you'll feel are I'm not good enough, right? You probably told yourself that a couple of times. They're going to find out. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm talking about, etc. You are either saying that to yourself, or maybe one person told you that and you ran with it, right? Whether they know you or not. I don't belong in this space. And that space could be anywhere. Um, Places that you were put in by somebody else because they saw value, but even then, you don't see the value in you. So internally, you're experiencing imposter syndrome. So I'm going to go to the chat and see what we got going on. Peach said she DM'd me. Okay. So yeah, so imposter syndrome is such an I call it more so an emotion because before I knew it was imposter syndrome, it was just an emotion that I was going in and out of. That's what I thought it was until this terminology of imposter syndrome started to go in and out of the beauty industry a lot. So I was just like, what is that? A few years back, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely experienced that quite a bit. Okay. So, we're going to talk about how it shows up in the beauty industry, and in order to really understand how to deal with it and what steps we can take to separate ourselves from the imposter syndrome, we have to understand like what is the experience of someone that has imposter syndrome, and what they have done to either separate themselves from it, even though it may come back. You have the tools you need to separate yourself from feeling the imposter syndrome. So, you avoid posting your work because it's not perfect. I'm gonna say it one more time. You avoid posting your work because it is not perfect. And in the beauty industry, since we're talking about that, whether you are a content creator, you're starting from somewhere. Whether you are a beauty professional, you're starting from somewhere. And when I used to teach at Paul Mitchell, um, I had to tell my students, like, you don't know nothing. That's why you here. And that's okay. Like you have to start from somewhere. And even then, as an instructor, as a cosmetology instructor, I was at a certain journey, at a certain point of what I knew at the time, and I was still growing, and I'm still growing to this day. So I had to come to terms with that as well. And when my students came to me the first couple of weeks, they call it core, they have to learn different weeks, a different set of subjects going on in core, in that particular subject, in that particular realm. And they wanted to know everything like the first couple of days. I'm like, that's not how that works. And I didn't understand why they were feeling that way. I'm like, girl, you ain't gonna know all that. So, and they were so serious. They wanted to just jump in and know everything and learn everything the moment it was given to them. I'm like, that's just not how it works. So, we are all on a journey, a growing journey, a never ending journey. So, we have to keep that in mind, either have it in the forefront of your mind or the back of your mind. Better to have it in the forefront though. Um, that it's a growing journey no matter what. Even right now for me, it is a growing journey for me at this moment with what I know. I don't know everything. And so I lean into the journey and knowing that I still have room to grow no matter what. So you avoid posting your work because it's not perfect. Keep in mind that we don't even know what perfection is. We don't experience perfection. That is not human form to experience perfection. Um, instead of waiting for perfection, and we don't even know what that picture even really looks like, we need to post for the journey that we're on. Post for the growth that you are on, that you are wanting everybody to see. Do that. Think ahead that way instead of waiting for the perfection to come. So, in order for you to grow, in order for you to see the growth, post for the journey. So, you constantly compare your skills, kits, or client list to other artists. And at one point, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I was doing that. I would literally, if I was working with another artist or I see on social media, like let's say they display their kit or I see their skills and they're getting this amount of clientele, I would always equate the amount of clientele to how valuable you are as an artist. And I don't know why I was doing that. I mean, I didn't know no better, to be honest, but you get in that funk, you know what I'm saying? You get in that particular funk and that's what you're thinking, like, well, they had like 10 clients this week, so and I didn't have any and nobody's really looking at me. You start like snowballing into this negative thought process that nobody else told you but you. No one else told you these things but yourself. So instead of that, I try to lessen the distraction, which we'll talk about in a little bit, lessen the distraction of what's around me, what's happening. And it's not that I'm not allowed to look at other artists. It's just when it happens, when I look at other artists, what is my response to myself? It shouldn't change the way it shouldn't devalue my work ethic or my journey or my artistry. It shouldn't do that at all. It should inspire me. You know what I'm saying? I should change that type of distraction to inspiration. Okay, this is what I would hope to do one day. Or, um, but I don't want to equate it to the creating value for myself when I already have it, or I'm already worthy of it. I'm going to look at the chat. Kylie said it's hard not to feel it, and then if you get a gifting and someone asks you how did you get that, I can't talk today. I automatically go to, well, do I not deserve to get it? Exactly, because there have been times that I would get something just like Kylie, and I'm like, well, why did they give it to me? That's crazy. Like, I don't even understand how I got in this position. Prime example. I applied for Danessa Meyer's Angels program. I don't think they have it available right now, but I applied for it, I think about what, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and I got in. I'm an angel. And I'm like, bro, how? And I was shocked. Like I was refreshing the page that lets me know that I'm in basically, and I was just like, that's crazy, but that's what's up. But immediately I'm like, but how did I get that? Like how do you see me? How do you know I'm worthy? How do you know I'm valuable? And immediately these negative thoughts just pops in like, are you kidding me? Like I'm a nobody. How did I get this position? How did I get this? How did I end up being an angel to a sought after, creative and innovative brand? How did that happen? And I literally thought it was normal to react that way. And not saying normal in a sense, but it's I'm devaluing myself. You understand what I'm saying? I'm making myself unworthy. And though that is basically imposter syndrome when you start thinking of those negative thoughts that no one else is telling you. Usually no one else is telling you this but yourself. So yes. Hey Lori. Tanya said, very true, Brittany. Listen. Peach said, I would have slapped you for thinking that way if I knew you back then. Yeah, and I would allow you to slap me, maybe. But yes, it that's what I'm saying. There are a lot of things that you guys don't really know about me, but it's been a roller coaster. It says you undercharge or discount because you don't feel worthy. Okay, so I remember at the time, in the beginning stages, maybe beginning, middle of my beauty career, I started off with makeup artistry, so we're gonna stick to that. And I was undercharging like a mug. Like I said before in the previous statement, that um, I would look at other artists and they had a ton of artists. Like at the time, if you had a ton of artists, a ton of clients, and at the time, if you had a ton of clients within the week, within the month, and you're showcasing it or whatever, you see the before and afters, etc. It would equate to you having a lot of value, and you're respected as an artist, and also your work is A1, right? And so what I would do, I would undercharge or discount my services so I can get those, the amount of clients that I feel I needed to feel worthy, to feel that I'm valuable. And sometimes it worked, or most times it worked, and other times it didn't matter. It didn't matter, right? So um I don't do that anymore. I don't undercharge, obviously, and I don't discount my services because I know my value, and yeah. So don't do that. Don't be like me. Be better than me. All right. So you hesitate to teach or speak up because you feel unqualified. So a quick story. I don't know if my mom is in here, but because I'm like, she can attest to this. When I was living in Miami and I was near her, it was like before I was having kids and stuff like that. We would go shopping together, and my hair, like our hair, would be always done, and I didn't really step out with makeup, but most hair was on point. Okay, I before I had locks, I had like this lion's mane of kinky curly hair. It is big and voluptuous. It stands out, and I would walk around like I didn't do it. I didn't do my hair. I didn't do her hair. You know what I'm saying? That is just that's how I was walking around. I'm gonna be honest with you. And random people would come up to me, not all at once, but like at occasionally different times that we would go shopping. And they would come up to me and she's like, I just have to come up to you and say, like, I love your hair and it looks so good. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And my mom will look at me so crazy, like, what are you doing? She will look at me like, are you dumb? And so I would say thank you, and I would literally like walk away, and she would look at me and say, that's your opportunity to promote yourself, to market yourself. And I'm like, but she didn't ask for that. And I'm like, sometimes people don't ask for something that they may need at the moment. And I'm like, Ma, what are you talking about? And so my mom has a marketing mentality wherever she goes. So she's not afraid to talk to people or nothing. Like nothing will stop her from saying something, or to tell somebody about my services, right? So she was like, do you have a business card right now? And I always carry business cards, but I'll be passing it out. But that's neither here nor there. So she grabbed my business card and she gives it to the lady. And the lady looked at me and said, why didn't you tell me that you do hair? And she was like, and you're a makeup artist? And I'm like, yeah. And my mom was like, yes, she is. She's a makeup artist. She's really great. And she does all types of hair, etc. Her favorite thing to do is color. And she's like vouching. My mother is vouching for me. And I looked at my mom like, wow, you have no issue of doing this. Like you have no issue of disclosing what my passion is, what I'm valuable. Like my mom sees my value without a shadow of a doubt. She sees that I'm worthy, um and it sucks when I don't express that in the time of an opportunity like that. So in that moment, I just feel at the time I felt like I wasn't qualified enough to tell her hey, this is what I do. I'm great at it, and etc. I can care for your hair. I can care for your skin while doing your makeup. Etc. Like I didn't feel that I was qualified, so I was just like, thank you, and walked away. And I was like, I mean, at least I was nice. So, and I don't have a tendency. I don't speak up for myself a lot, as much as I should. I, kind of keep myself in a bubble. And then when people start finding out what I do, it's usually how that happens. They look at me sideways, like, why you never said anything? And I was just like, I just never been in a position for me to say something about myself. It's not easy for me to talk about myself. But yeah, that's the story. So it says you downplay accomplishments. I just got lucky instead of owning your talent. And there's been numerous of times that I felt like I don't deserve to be in this particular space, or I don't deserve to receive this particular accomplishment. Um, and I would literally go through how I even got that particular position. And I would literally go through it in my head like, how did I even get here? How did I get that position? Even though I applied for it, or I was just in the right space at the right time. That's how I would think. And I have to remember that I've done the work in order to get to that particular spot. You know what I'm saying? And so if you feel like um, you're just plopped there because you got lucky. No, baby, you have been doing the work at different seasons of your life to get you right where you need to be. Sometimes what you've done in the past is much needed, or any rocky road sometimes is much needed for where you need to be at the particular moment that you are at. So if you are struggling, especially with imposter syndrome, but if you are struggling, just remember that this is not your end game. You know what I'm saying? This is just temporary. It is supposed to propel you for the blessing that is supposed to come at that very moment. Um, and it's just another prepping stone for you to get from point A to point B. And I had to think of it in that sense because I would say, well, shoot, they saw me and they're like, well, let's go. I would think of it like that, and don't discredit yourself that way. So I'm gonna go to the chat, see where we're at. Noe says I would charge people like $30 in college for full glam and lashes. Crazy. Listen, I don't even remember what I was charging in college, but you best believe I was charging in college. But people were paying. I mean, I don't remember exactly what I was charging for makeup and hair in college. Um, Peach says, I'm so lucky I was surrounded by MUAs who believe in bringing others up with them or just uplifting makeup beginners, even if they didn't want to be an MUA. It's very important to be around people like that. There are artists who are not like that, and or they don't have the patience to do that. And that's okay. That's just not their ministry. There are people who are going to be in that space for you, and um, that would help you, you know, go through your journey and grow in your journey as well. Your mom is, Noe says your mom is a great role model. Peach says your mom is a real one though. Listen, my mom is from New York. So if you know about like the hustles mentality, yes. Peach said, honestly, I traded services for a friendship bracelet before. Well, that's a little different. Like, if that was the initial exchange because that's what you wanted, that I understand that. That's not something to be like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Lori says, yes, you put in the work and it's going to come back to you. I know that's right. I know that's right. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep it pushing. So, why is it so common in the beauty industry? Beauty is visual and it's performance based and it's easy to compare. There's so many things that we can compare our work, whether you are a content creator, an influencer, a beauty lover, a beauty professional. There are websites, there are social media platforms. Um, that is easily you can compare yourself to. Just we always say this, it's always in the beauty industry, in the social media realm, that not everything that you see is for real. It's edited to make it look positive, of course, but you have to create content in a sense to gain the clientele that you're looking for, or brands that want to work with you. So the content is curated in that sense for that particular reason, usually. So when you're looking at the makeup artist, or when you're looking at another influencer, another content creator, don't think that their life is peachy keen, okay, or that they are everything is happening in their favor. Like they're getting all the money in the world, or they're getting a check every month or every week, or whatever the case may be. It might not be happening. I'll be honest with you. It may not be happening. All right. And you have to take that for face value. But you do want to show up with who you are, how you are, whether it be positive or negative, depending on how you want to show up in your social media space. But just know that don't let that be the comparison. You can just trigger it, or channel it, not trigger, but channel it as inspiration is what I do. If it's too much, then just block them. No hard feelings. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just block them so you don't see them in your feed. If you can't handle it at that particular moment, block them. Block them, not because they did something wrong or anything. It's just so that you can get out your own head. And if you have to lessen the distraction, block them. That's what I say to that. Many artists are self-taught or took non-traditional paths. I took non-traditional paths. I was not taught by anybody in the beginning. I was a self-taught artist. I was a self-taught YouTube University artist. Okay. I knew everything in the beginning from YouTube University. Okay. So I had to unlearn and relearn. And in that unlearning and relearning, it was hard because I'm like, what do you mean I can't do that? But this person, this so and so has taught me this and it works and I don't understand that. Listen. That unlearning and relearning proper. Night night, baby. You okay? Okay. Put your pack on the charger. Sorry, mom life. I had to in that unlearning and relearning, I had to really like go beside myself and really just come to terms like I don't really know this stuff. I don't really know proper terminology. I don't know proper ways to um, do things when it comes to makeup artistry. So I had to go to school. I had to understand X, Y, and Z when it comes to this industry, the makeup artistry in the professional sense, right? So social media shows highlight reels, not messy behind the scenes. Nowadays it shows both, because I think it's very important to show both sides. It may not be for everyone, of course, but I feel it's very important to show what it looks like when you are struggling. When not necessarily struggling, but when you don't feel valuable, when you don't feel worthy. You know what I'm saying? What do you do? Do you stay in that? Do you dwell in that state? Do you move forward? How do you move forward? And some people do need to hear what that looks like, or see what that really looks like. What do you do when you feel like this, right? How do you get out that funk? Or how do I come back to social media and don't feel that imposter syndrome, don't feel the fear of putting myself out there, you know? Let me drink some water because I'm always talking to me. This is your moment to drink water too. If you haven't drank water today, shame on you. So it says industry pressure to look polished and be perfect in your craft. Like I said, we don't know what perfection really looks like in a picture, what that really looks like. So to strive something off of what we don't know what that looks like is just crazy and insane to me. However, don't feel pressure. You don't know what the perfection is supposed to look like, but you know what your growth how it can turn out to be, based off of your growth and in your journey. So always keep that forward. For women, especially women of color, cultural conditioning to shrink and play it safe. Cultural conditioning to shrink and play it safe. There's been times I didn't want to, but I've had to kind of not include my skin, if that makes any sense, not include my skin color and in different work environments. And it felt like crap because this is all I know. This is me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you is you, this is me. So I had to, um, I can't say certain things because it's a private brand, but in certain instances, I had to um, be in that room, and it felt like I wasn't myself. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I was doing it for someone else and not necessarily for myself. I wasn't being who I was at the time. And so I didn't want to portray myself that way, and I'm not like that at all, right? Personally. So being in that realm, I don't want to be that particular person. So I had to get out of there. And that's okay. And if you have to shift, you have to shift, right? So let's go to the chat. Let's see. Lori says, yes, social media isn't always real. Just be yourself, and that's enough. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's stressful to just try to put up a facade when that's not you. When you are not being who you are, it's harder. It's just harder to play another person that's not you. It's crazy to keep up with things that you don't do. You don't normally do this, and it's going to be harder. It's going to feel like another job. No. Mm-mm. Peach says, I always tell artists and other creators to have a separate account that doesn't follow as much of other creators and artists so they can take a break from seeing that constantly. I agree. Someone else has said that, not to make a separate account, but within your account, just unfollow them or block them for the time being. Until I would say, don't just unfollow and block them because you still need to work on you. The problem is with you and your thoughts, um, but watching them just adds on to the flame. So in the beginning, do that, but you also need to do the work for yourself. Do the inner work for yourself. Noe says everyone likes, share, and subscribe. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you. Lori said, I drink some water, much needed. Listen, I promise you it will do you way better than harm. Peach says, ooh, I'll get heated on this topic. I made mute this section. I can't be getting heated this late at night. I'm sorry. I don't need you to get heated. Did I say something that made you heated? I'm sorry. All right, so we're going to move on to the next part. So, how to fight imposter syndrome? So, we know with experience, we know how to define it, we know what it is, we know how it affects people from listening to my experiences, just some of my experiences. That's not even all of them, but some of them. And Now we need to figure out, okay, so when you do experience imposter syndrome, I can't dwell in it because you're telling me, Brittany, not to dwell in it. So what do I do instead, right? So the first thing that you want to do, and you can write these down if you haven't been taking notes, it's cool. You need to track your receipts, honey. Track your receipts, track your resume. So you want to save any reviews that people have told you in person or have put, either have done a Google review on you or your website or whatever, or your comment section. If it looks like a review, you need to screenshot that and save that for yourself. It sounds childish, but I kid you not, like words are very powerful, and especially from someone else telling you um, that what you're doing, they see the value in that and they're explaining the value and the worth that you bring to the table. Please screenshot that, video record that, do whatever you got to do to make that a review for yourself. The results, whatever you're putting out, that growth, that is a part of the results. Always do a before and after. Um, that is either you're a content creator, beauty professional, you can before and after anything. Okay. So if you're a content creator, you can before and after your face if you choose to do that. If you are a beauty professional, you can before and after your work from a couple of years ago till now. Do it side by side. Like the other day when I did my mom's makeup, she was the guest artist for the Makeup Lounge Live. And this is the second time I've done her makeup. She normally does her own face. Like she does her makeup and we out the door. Um, but this is my second time doing her makeup, baby. And I was just like, I need to find that first picture when I did her makeup. I don't even know why. I think I just did her makeup just to practice, just to build what I was learning to practice at the time. And Lord, I'm gonna do a before and after, and I'm either gonna put it in my stories or on my feed so you guys can see. But even that before and after is very powerful, and it shows you, if you look very closely, it shows you your growth from what you were doing a few years back to now. Because before, when I was doing her makeup, that one time, I thought I was doing it, honey. The contour was there, the highlight was there, and to be completely real, now that I'm in this particular moment, the before was crazy. Was a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? For her having mature skin, it was just like I was treating her like she was my age at the time. And I'm like, so I say like really take into account your receipts that you have, okay? And then if you take clients, look at the client photos before and after, or go back through your feed and see how you started and see where you are right now. I'm telling you, you're never gonna be in the same spot from a few years back till now. There's going to be a level of growth in different areas, and you have to pat yourself on the back. You have to accept it because you are growing, whether you see it or you feel it or you believe it or not. Two, action over anxiety. Especially if you have anxiety problems, action over anxiety. Take the step while feeling scared. There's been moments that I will feel scared and feel shy to just put it out there. Like I was telling you in the beginning, that every time I do something new, whether I know it or not, like I know the subject, I know I'm passionate about it, etc. Whether I know it or not, baby, I'm always nervous, scared, and negative thoughts will start to creep in, and I have to counter it. Like, nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's okay to feel that way, but don't dwell in it, right? Take the step anyway, whether you are ready for it or not. Be prepared though, but you're going to be scared. You're going to be nervous, but dive head first in that mud. Dive head first. That's all you can do. Who gonna spank you? Dive head first. 3, talk back to the lie because it's not the truth. You've been lying to yourself. Like the beginning, the title, you've been lying to yourself. You have been saying this to you. Okay? You have been saying this to you. Get rid of them thoughts. You need to flip the script. So, for example, um, instead of saying I'm still learning, say I'm growing and still qualified. I'm growing and still qualified. You flipping the script, right? You are still placing yourself in the valuable presence of it all, but in all actuality, you're still growing. And there's nothing wrong with growing. There's no negative connotation to the word growing. You take it for face value. You're still valuable and you're still qualified. You got to where you are because you are qualified. You are doing what you're supposed to do to be in that position, no matter what, whether you believe it or not. Flip the script. 4, embrace progress over perfection. Embrace progress over perfection. Show your journey. And this is what I mean that it's so important to not wait for this blanket of perfection that we don't know anything about. We don't know what that looks like. We don't know what that sounds like. So we need to just show the growth, show the journey, right? Someone wants to see the journey. We don't know who that is yet, but someone wants to see the journey, whether they like your video or they like the picture or not. Someone needs to see that journey. Someone will scroll through your feed and see your journey of how far you've come. So keep that in mind. 5, show up messy. Listen, show up messy. You're allowed to improve publicly. You're allowed to improve. You're allowed to tell people, I don't know this. Okay. I don't know this area. I don't know, for example, I don't know brows. I do, but I don't know brows. And this always struggle. I always struggle with this brow, but this brow always gets it right. Okay, be okay with what you are struggling with, especially in the beauty industry, whether you be a content creator or a beauty professional. But however, when you are enduring in the struggle, be open to learning from someone else or being open to take advice from someone else. As long as you're open to it, be a sponge no matter what. Be a sponge no matter what. For example, you guys don't know I'm a public school teacher and I don't know everything about geography, child. Let me not lie to you. I don't know everything about geography, and that's the subject that I teach. And there was a part in there. I don't know exactly what we were discussing or what the lesson was at the time, but um, my student was like, Miss Hamilton, what's this, that, and the third? Like, what? But she was asking me a question, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know, but let's find out together. And we sure did. And the fun of it is finding it out and going to go search for the answer. And we did it together. And she loved that she took control of that moment because she knew that we were learning. And now I'm like, okay, boom. I know some parts of it, but not all of it. So let's find out together. And I love that she took ownership in that. And she didn't downplay me as a teacher and devalued me, right? She still respected me as a teacher, but I gave her permission to take ownership in something that I wasn't fully versed in. And that's okay. That is okay. But you need to show up how you are and be okay to receive knowledge that you don't know anything about, right? So be okay with that. Show up as you are. So let's go to the chat. Peach said no was a skin color topic. I've heard stories from friends over the years and have a few of my own stories, but I just get heated thinking about those specifics. It is it is it can be a struggle being in this skin color. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love it, but it is a struggle. Peach said also I moved my topics message to the forum and removed it from our DMs. Okay, cool. So I'll definitely check back. Lori says, yes, the before and after is a great way to see your growth. Yes, completely agree. Hey, Sylvia. Oh, you're so proud of me, Sylvia. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. I was like, I really want to do this podcast? I'm telling you, thoughts be just trickling in. I'm telling you. All right, so um that is under it all. That's the first segment. We're gonna go into the mirror talk. We are almost done. The mirror talk, okay? So couple things. You can either say this, you can write this down. If you don't catch, saying this together, it's completely fine. But just know that you can put this on your mirror. You can put this anywhere that you need to see visible to give you the reminder until it becomes something that's embedded inside of your brain to go to counter whenever you are having this thought process or whenever you are feeling this particular overwhelming emotion of imposter syndrome, fear, etc. That ties into imposter syndrome. Please use these, okay? You don't need permission to be excellent. You already are. Just because you're still learning doesn't mean you aren't qualified to show up. You've already helped people feel confident, beautiful, and seen. That's not luck, that's purpose. The loudest voice in your head isn't always the truest. Choose to believe what your work and clients already say about you. Every artist you admire once felt like they didn't belong to, and I can attest to that. They just kept going anyway. Your fear doesn't disqualify you. In fact, it proves you care. Just don't let it stop you. Now, that was the pep talk. We are going into some affirmations. This is how we're going to end it before we ask the artist segment. So you can say this out loud, like I was saying before, or you can write these down. I am talented and my gift makes room for me. I don't need to be perfect to be powerful. I'm going to stop there because even though you don't feel these affirmations to be true to you, saying it, remember I said that words have power. So it coming out of your mouth, out of your body, and you can hear yourself say it, pulls you closer to believing that to be true. So the more you say it, the more you adapt to those statements, the more that your body and yourself is going to believe it. So even though you don't feel it, you don't feel any part of it, you need to say it. Don't just read it in your head, you need to say it out loud so you can hear yourself talk. I create beauty, and that beauty reflects the confidence I walk in. I trust my growth. I trust my gift. I trust my journey. Even when I feel uncertain, I am still worthy of showing up. I serve with purpose. I grow with grace. And I rise with confidence. Every client I've served is proof that I'm not a fraud. I'm a force. I know that's right. I felt that in my spirit, okay? Let's go to the chat. Sylvia says, you truly found your niche with this. I'm loving every bit of it. So well done. Oh, thank you so much. Sylvia said, this message is so important for anyone who grew up in an abusive home. It needs to be heard. I know you are speaking to a lot of people, and I hope a lot of people gets to hear it too. Peach says, clapping as we speak because that's the truth. I know that's right. Listen, okay? All right, so the last segment is Ask the Artist. So you can ask questions. It doesn't have to be necessarily about the topic for today's episode. It can be any question that you may have for me. You're more than welcome to go ahead and stir those questions in the comments, and then I will try my best to answer. So yeah, it could be business, beauty, technique, anything that you feel like you want to ask. So I will be waiting for a little bit as the questions come in. I'm gonna go back to Kylie's question while we wait. Where is the question? So Kylie says, tell us how long you've been doing pro makeup. I started pro makeup artistry. I claimed pro makeup artistry. That's another thing. In 2009. So 2009 is when I was like, I'm doing this. I started with models. I started getting models and dabbling on people and everything before I ventured out and started taking clients. Um, that's when it started, 2009. So it's been like what, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That is, ooh, somebody do the math. It's like 12, 15, 16, 15, 15 years? Yeah, 15. No, 16. 16 because it's 2009. 16 years. Lori said, yes, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Come on, take us to church, Lori. Speak life over yourself. I love these affirmations. If you guys want me to do like a graphic for the affirmations and drop it in like the stories for you to grab and keep for yourself or and print it out or whatever the case may be, I can do that. I can also put a link to it in the description box when I update it for that. That is fine because I know I want it. Like I said, I want this podcast to be interactive because I want it to help you. I want it. This is why I have it live so that we can counter these things like that we're dealing with, and we can really talk about um, these topics like the way that it should be talked about. Lori says, apply color correcting under or on top of foundation. I have seen it done both ways. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I do it both ways. Now I used to do it on top. I used to put foundation down and then color correct on top, and then put my concealer color and shade on top of that. Um, Here's the thing: if you it's a way of, are you gonna waste product or not? That's how I see it. Because it can be a waste if you lay down the foundation and it doesn't cover enough, it doesn't give enough coverage, and then you go in with your color corrector, then it covers it, and then you got to go back. Like I was doing the most. I was putting down foundation, and then I would put the color corrector, and then I would put either another layer of foundation or concealer, and then I had to kind of tweak the concealer a bit because it was giving Oompa Loompa. So um, you have to test it out, and there's no right or wrong way. It's a matter of what's the purpose of you doing that, right? Is your foundation has enough color properties to cover what you see? So let's say if it is, you don't have a lot to cover, or it's not dark enough for you to really need a color corrector, then just go with your foundation and see how far it takes you. And if it doesn't cover a lot, like you see gray, or it's just you see the underlying um, imperfections underneath the foundation, then you need to color correct. So I would say if it doesn't really show up that much, slap on that foundation and see how far it goes. And then you're like, I'm gray, I look dead. Then then that's when you're like, okay, I need a color corrector. Try both ways and you figure out what your preference is. But there isn't a right and wrong way. It's more so why are you doing it, right? So, for example, if I have a client and she has a lot to correct and it's very dark in certain areas, it's hyperpigmentation, and it's really noticeable to the point that she's really different from the rest of her body, than to her face. I need to correct some parts of that before I even think about laying down foundation. And then, even so, if it's that bad, I do have to double check just to make sure that it is corrected properly. Because sometimes I will have to go back and look at different areas just to make sure it's even as it can get. Does that make sense? So just try it both ways just to see what you like and what works faster for you, and what it covers better for you, I should say. Good question. Sylvia says, Brittany, do you ever find the competitiveness of social media overwhelming? Um, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a competitive person at all. I'm not. So if you feel like you want to outrun something that I'm involved in, I'm gonna just let you have it. That's just how I am because I'm gonna run my own race. If if God says you don't need to go over there, I'm not gonna go over there. Maybe you can go. You go. You want to go. But I'm not. Do you ever find the competitiveness of social media overwhelming? What would overwhelm me instead is that, like I was telling my husband a couple months ago, that like I'm not getting clients. Like what the heck is that? Like why am I not getting clients? It's crazy to hear me say that, right? But I'm gonna be for real with you guys. Like the last time I saw a client was when I was doing my friend's makeup for her new whatchamacallit, her new her counseling business, right? Her counseling, and she has a candle business as well. That was the last time. But before then, it's been a hot minute since I saw a client. Why? I don't know. I mean, there's different holes that I need to fill in that I've been filling in, of being consistent, of making sure the SEO is right on my website, and my website's down right now, which I don't know why. So I'm trying to figure out different ways to still have people find me and book me, kind of thing. But yeah, I would leave money on the table. Let's just put it that way. I would leave money on the table, and I would just stay stagnant and not really try to change that. So I'm really trying to hear what God wants, where He wants me to be in the beauty realm, and not get discouraged and just lean into what He wants me to do. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to not think about like, well, I haven't seen a client in like a couple of months. Like, what's that all about, God? I would love to touch a face. You feel me? I would love to touch some hair. So I try to channel it in different areas of the beauty industry because I'm an educator as well. So I try to really lean into that because I feel like that's where he really wants me. So, but it's hard. It's hard to really like imposter syndrome. But yeah, yes, triple check. Yes, Peach. Sylvia says, love that response. I'm the same way. Right, right. So I'm not competitive. I, the way that I look at it is that I move if I have a level, if I'm putting out value, it's valuable to my audience. I'm valuable, but if the information I'm sharing is valuable, then I'm putting it out. If I don't feel that it's valuable, then I'm not going to put it out. I'm not going to put some random stuff out. You feel me? Like it has to tie into, like it has to make sense. Or else it won't make sense to you. Like what she got this on here for? I can care less how people think of what I do, but that as far as like looking at it from a consumer perspective of how the audience is, looking inward at my feed, they're gonna look at that post and be like, okay, what did I really get out of this? Like, what's the purpose of this? Why am I looking at this? So I try to only making sure whatever I put out is valuable to you and is beneficial to someone in some way. So yeah. Lori says, I love that you're teaching in the beauty space. You are a wealth of knowledge and you're not a gatekeeper. I appreciate you for that. Oh, thank you, Lori. I try not to be a gatekeeper. I try to, if it's the right moment, to tell you what I know, and I try to. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it be a beauty lover, a content creator who loves beauty, a beauty professional. You ask, I'm gonna give it to you. That's just how I see it. So why not? Like, you have to learn from somebody. They're trying to learn. So why not give it to them? So yeah, I'm gonna take one more question and then we shall close it out and get ready for next week. So if you have any more questions or comments, please let me know. So as you guys are gathering your last statements and your questions, I'm going to start closing. So let me encourage you. If you haven't been encouraged throughout the entire episode, you are not behind. You remember that you are building. You are building for yourself. You are building in your passion that you're passionate about. Please keep that in mind. You are not here in this space by mistake. Okay? You are not in here in this space by mistake. You are here for a reason. You are here to impart your ministry somewhere, somehow. Remember that. Your journey counts. It's a wealth of growth in your journey, even if it doesn't look like everyone else's. In this beauty industry, especially now, the every role is not going to be the same. I don't do what every artist does. And that's okay. And that's what makes it unique. Find the uniqueness in what you do, what you bring to the table in this space, in the beauty community, in the beauty industry. Find that. Hold on to that. Okay? So look back in the chat. Let's see. Peach said you don't grow if you don't help the people coming with you. Hello. Because in the moment of giving advice, you can still grow. Sylvie says your podcast is every Wednesday, right? Yes, ma'am. Every Wednesday at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Noe says great episode. Thank you, babe. Lori says advice on picking foundation inside a beauty store, especially their lighting. I'm going to. I thought about doing whatchamacallit, content for that. So if you want me to do content for that instead of me just like airing out the information now, I could do that for you. So just let me know. Because that's kind of, the store lighting is retarded, okay? I'm just let you know that. So store light's ghetto sometimes. My goodness. Um, Peach says, also apologizing for my episode ideas in the forum in advance because some of them may be weird or heavy. Um, I mean, if it flows with the with the podcast, then we'll see. I'll review it and I'll keep you posted. Lori says, "Are those your earrings?" No, I got these from Shein. I love these. I love me a bold statement earring. Okay, do the content. Okay, I want the content. Period. Alrighty. So, this is, we are ending it here. But before we end, please know that you are going to submit a topic or if you have questions for the Ask the Artist segment, please, 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 there's two links in the description box. There's one for topics and then there's one for questions. If you do have questions, that you want me to ask in the next episode, go ahead and plop them in there. If you have a topic that you would want me to discuss, it may not be the next episode, of course, but it'll probably will get featured depending on how it relates to under the makeup. So please share this episode if you haven't already. I'm so glad you guys were listening and watching, and I love that you guys were interacting and enjoying yourself in this space, in this safe space. But come back next Wednesday, every Wednesday at 8:30 Central Standard Time for Under the Makeup Podcast Show. And just remember to stay booked, stay blended. I gotta remember this line. Stay booked, stay blended, stay bold. See you next week on Under the Makeup Podcast Show. I'm your host, Brittany D. Bye.